Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to NAWBO On The Go. My name is Tanya Shagnon, and with me today I have Miss Amy Miller from our New Mexico chapter. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. It's a beautiful day here in Albuquerque.
I love that it is not here.
Oh, that's too bad.
We have big storms coming in. Okay, so we are creeping up on summer. Lots of people travel during the summer. Do you have any fun vacation plans planned?
Well, my husband and I just booked a Viking cruise that will go down the Rhine River and will be in Switzerland and France and Germany. I've never been on a cruise. This is a smaller river cruise, and we're taking it in late September into early October.
That's going to be amazing.
Yes, we can't wait. Our son is teasing us that it's an old person cruise. He says drinks at 3, dinner at 5, and bedtime at 7. And I said, just sounds perfect for me.
We heart our children so much. Yeah, can we listen to old-fashioned music? Sure, like 60s, like 80s. Not old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your business. What made you decide to start your own business?
I had worked for years in the corporate world, mostly in the energy industry. And like I had seen happen to so many other people, one day I was part of a big layoff.
Yeah.
And it hit me blindside because I was so defined by that job and that company. And I really didn't take the time to figure out what my next step was. I jumped in working for a nonprofit and it wasn't a good fit for me. And so I left that job and I was having wine with one of my girlfriends, Pauline, one evening, who has built a very successful business with consulting and social work here in New Mexico. And she said, "Have you ever thought about starting your own business?" And I said, "Oh no, I'm not the type." And then I just gave it some thought. I was at a place in my life where my kids were mostly grown. My parents had both recently passed. I didn't have as many caretaking responsibilities. And so I stepped forward and did it cautiously. And then I started getting some clients.
It's
And I've
amazing how that
loved it ever
happens.
since.
What has been the hardest part and the best part about owning your own business?
Well, when I started just in the consulting realm and have also added communications coaching to that. I think the hardest part initially was figuring out pricing on
Hmm.
proposals. I really underbid. And I don't totally regret that because it got some good experience under my belt. But when I think back at it now, I shudder to think what I was charging. I've also had issues of just learning how to take rejection and not take it personally when you
Hmm.
win a bid. And as my family would tell you, I always complain about being too busy or not having enough work. Never perfect enough for me. But so those are some of the harder parts, but the journey has been great.
And what has been the best part of owning your own business?
Oh, I love working with clients that align with my values. I love being able to work with diverse types of organizations and people. So every day is different. Of course, I love helping clients succeed in their goals, whether it's getting legislation passed or giving a powerful keynote presentation. And one of the things that I really find joy in is doing some pro bono work for young
Hmm.
people who need coaching for an interview for medical school or a residency or grad school or their first professional job. I
Hmm.
do that pro bono for many young people, and I find such joy in helping them meet their next step.
I love that. And so, what are the building blocks you take people through when coaching them on communications?
Well, there is a few. First of all, preparation and research.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us don't do that. We'll walk into a meeting having prepared a speech 30 minutes prior, and we don't know what the setup is, who the audience is, what the objectives are for the meeting. Then it's really building an impactful speech and one with just 3 to 4 powerful points, and then creating an impactful opening and closing. I teach people how to use stories as part of their presentations or speeches, when and how to use visuals. I think we've all sat in those meetings where there are 50 PowerPoint slides in 12-point type, and it's
Yeah.
not really an effective way to communicate.
Yeah.
How to handle tough questions, and then I work a lot with them on their delivery skills. So just using pauses and varying their volume and all those kinds of things that can make them a powerful communicator.
I love that. I still remember when I was in college, my communications professor, whenever we would do a trip, if we said one person said and all the time, she had an air horn.
I love
And,
it.
and she would shoot it off whenever we did it. And we all were so freaked out, but she made us conscious of whenever we were doing it. But it was always just ah!
Yeah, people love to use ands and so's, and I'm guilty of it myself. If
Mm-hmm.
you can just remember to, you can take a pause. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to talk in one continuous paragraph.
I love that. So, what common communications challenges do you find with most of your clients?
Well, I think the first one is everyone says they have nervousness and anxiety. And so it's just helping them go through some deep breathing type of skills, and also just having them envision that they have presented an excellent speech at the end of the day, that they're fulfilling that positive prophecy. Um, the other thing I stress to a lot of people is less is more. We
Yes.
want to get every single point into a presentation or a speech. Audiences appreciate a few key takeaways. And if you can even shorten the length of your speech, people will love you all the better.
I tell people watch a YouTube video, and when your attention starts to drift, that's how long your presentation should be.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So, are there times when people are more anxious about speaking? It's not necessarily public speaking, but are there times when people are more anxious about speaking?
Absolutely. I coach a lot of people for media interviews, job interviews, grad school interviews,
Hmm.
and statistics show that more than 90% of the population gets completely anxiety ridden before a job interview.
90%.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I think really people struggle with is the first question. Tell us a little bit about yourself. It terrifies people. And
Yeah.
that's the one that I work on with people the most, because you got to start out with that powerful opening.
I love that. And that's so hard. It's so hard. And when you're in that situation, absolutely. And are there any tips that you can give people to improve their speaking skills?
Absolutely. As I mentioned before, do your homework first, do the
Hmm.
research. What is the technology going to be like? Who is in the audience? Then I coach people to create a speech from the inside out. So build your first three or four main points that you want to share with an audience, then build an impactful opening and closing. Be your authentic self. People do not want to hear about perfect people and their perfect lives.
That's
They
what
want to
Instagram's
hear
for.
about your challenges and how you've overcome them.
Yes.
Use stories to add impact and constantly practice. One thing I find is people want to write down every word of a speech and then they get very nervous about wanting to memorize that. I encourage people to do bullet points and just think through it visually in their head.
I love
It
that. That's
eases
an
their
amazing
nerves.
tip.
Yes.
Yes, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today and sharing these tips with us.
Thank you.
And have so much fun on your cruise, and I can't wait to hear all about it.
I can't wait either. I'm so excited.
It's going to be amazing. And listeners, thank you as well for joining me today. And I will see you back here super soon for our very next episode. Have a really great day.
Thank you.